Hey everyone, my name is Myiesha and I'm a beauty director here at Sephora and I am at home. One of my favorite things to do is go to my esthetician and get my regular facials and extractions and peels. I typically do a in-office chemical peel twice a year, but right now I'm at home, so I consulted with her on some things I can do to sort of maintain my skin in the meantime. So I'll be showing you a few different peels that I really like and how to take care of your skin after your peels. My esthetician's dog has one eye. His name is Dingo. He's a little pug. Okay, so our first product is from Dr. Jim's Gross. This is kind of a classic. I feel like so many people that use skincare have used these. So these are the Alpha Beta Universal Daily Peel. This is not the extra strength. This is sort of the more gentle one, I would say. So if you're someone who has never peeled before, maybe you don't exfoliate on a regular basis, or you have very sensitive skin, this would be something really great that you can try. These are, of course, as the name implies, you're able to use these daily. So it has a lactic acid, glycolic, and salicylic, and sort of a low concentration, so you're able to use it every day. It's more of like a maintenance thing. I tend to use them at night, or I love the way my skin looks before I do makeup. So this is a two-step process. You see the 1 and 2 here. So the first peel pad you put on, you wait a few minutes, and then you use the second peel pad to sort of hydrate and deactivate the peel. So this is something really nice to do if you've never done a peel before. You want something super effective but very gentle. So another really great option for someone who's used to peeling, maybe they want a little bit extra. I find this is so effective. This is from Drunk Elephant. This is the TLC Sukari Baby Facial. 25% AHA and 2% BHA mask, and it just kind of dissolves all that dead skin and just gives you like this very smooth sort of baby skin, hence the name. So it does have 25% AHAs, and AHAs are alpha hydroxy acids. They're usually some sort of fruit acid, kind of like when you cut lemons or you're making margaritas or something, like your skin feels so soft afterwards. That's the fruit acids kind of breaking down that dead skin and leaving you with like very soft, smooth skin. The BHAs or beta hydroxy acids, a lot of times you'll hear about that in acne medication, and it's really good for clearing out pores. So even if you're someone who doesn't suffer from breakouts, clearing out those pores and making them nice and clean are going to make them appear smaller, so you just have smoother skin overall. This is something that I use all the time. So this peel you would use once a week, and you leave it on for about 20 minutes. If you've never done a peel this effective before, maybe you can cut that time in half for your first few times using it, but I can get a good 20 minutes out of it, and my skin just feels really nice and fresh, never irritated. So I've used mini peels. I've used the last two I talked about. One that I'm really into at the moment is from DERMALOGICA. So this guy right here comes in this cute little case. It even has a suction cup so you can keep it on your bathroom mirror. So this is also something that you would use once a week, but it has a special little feature. You can see I already used one the other day. So what you can do with this one that's really special is if you're someone who just wants a boost, like I can't get to my esthetician right now and I just really need some good exfoliation to keep my skin on track. So you can do them 3 days in a row. So today is Friday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I can do this and I can get this like really beautiful sort of peel. That's why it's called Rapid Reveal Peel. So it has pumpkin extract in it, just like the Sukari Baby Facial does. Pumpkin is really great at getting that dead skin and breaking it up. It also has lactic acid. Lactic acid peels are really great, and it's usually what an esthetician would use on you if you were getting a professional facial. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my little ampule, and it's just a little twist off, very small little guy right here. I'm gonna twist it off. It comes right off a little bit on my hands. So I am going to, I do a little bit at a time. It's kind of like this clear gel texture. It's running. So it's this clear kind of gel texture. So I just put a little bit on. Something you can do too, usually when people feel irritation from a peel, maybe if they haven't done anything before, they usually feel it right in the little corners of the nose and around the mouth. What you can do is put a little teeny bit of oil, kind of like as a buffer, so the peel doesn't penetrate as deep on those areas if you're concerned. So I'm not rubbing it in aggressively, I'm just kind of like smoothing it over the skin to make sure it's distributed nicely. The only thing I have on my skin is a little bit of hyaluronic acid because I always have a little bit of moisture on my skin, but you can just do this on very bare skin. You can also do the neck as well. Don't rub it in, kind of like you're using a physical exfoliator. It's strong enough to do the work for you. You want to use the entire ampule. You want to avoid the eye area. When you get this kit, you get 10 different ampules, and you would use them once a week. If you're doing what I'm doing and kind of doing the rapid reveal peel sort of thing, where you're using 3 in a row, then you can go ahead and do that. Maybe I would say, especially if I haven't had an actual facial in a while, maybe do the 3 in a row every 2 months or so. You don't want to use them all in one day. That'd be too much for your skin. You want to give yourself a little time to recover. And you also want to have your phone nearby, or you want to be looking at a clock, because you're going to leave this on for about 3 to 7 minutes. So I feel like exfoliation is kind of a marathon. This is a really great analogy I got from one of my skincare friends. If you've never run a marathon before, you don't just like jump into an intense chemical peel. If you're training for it, you do a little exfoliation every week, maybe bump it up to 2 weeks. Then you can do exfoliation, no big deal. I exfoliate quite a bit, so I don't really feel any tingle. You might feel the like tiniest little tingle when you're putting this on if you're not used to a peel, and that's totally normal. What can help is using a little bit of mist. Okay, so this is from Glow Recipe. This is the Watermelon Glow Ultrafine Mist. So if you feel like the tingle is getting kind of intense, your skin's fine, you're not gonna damage it at all. Like nothing that you can buy over the counter at Sephora is gonna, damage your skin. But if it feels tingly and you just want to scratch, just mist ever so slightly. You can kind of like do like this, tap with your fingers, but that'll kind of soothe a little bit of the tingling a little bit. I don't really feel much because I peel all the time. I sort of am very used to it. Okay, so I think it's been about 2 minutes or so. I'm gonna go for the full 7, and then I'm gonna wash my face. Okay, looking at my timer. So I will be right back after I have rinsed this peel off. So I just went and rinsed my face with some cold water. You're gonna find that cold water is gonna be a lot more soothing to the skin. And I would recommend just like fully cleansing your face. And we're gonna talk about products you should avoid afterwards and kind of some aftercare. So anything that you have in your routine that's very active, you wanna discontinue use of for a few days. Like if you use a cleanser with salicylic or glycolic, you've already used those products in your peel, so you want to avoid using them just for a few days afterwards, so your skin can recover. So I just rinsed with some cold water, wiped it off with a cloth, made sure it was nice and dry. But right now, my skin feels very, very soft, but I want to rehydrate it. So whenever you do a peel, you won't notice immediate peeling right after. Usually on the 3rd day or so, I would say, is when I start to see little flakiness kind of come around, like around my mouth and around my cheek area. So in the meantime, I want to hydrate really nicely. So I'm going to use some hyaluronic acid. So this is from the INKEY list. This is their hyaluronic acid serum. So hyaluronic acid is really great for your skin anytime. It penetrates in your skin really nicely because usually hyaluronic acid is very sort of like water or gel-like. Anything that is kind of like loose and not as thick as like oil or cream is gonna penetrate really nicely in your skin. And this will help bind moisture to your skin. It's almost like drinking water, but applying it topically. So I'm gonna put some of this on. This is also a really great moisturizer if you have oily skin because it hydrates without any weight. Okay, so we put some hyaluronic acid on, which I think is really nice, really soothing after a peel. Something else you can do, especially on that day when you actually start peeling, I find an oil to be extremely helpful. And this is from Youth to the People. So this is one of their oils. This is the Superberry and Hydrate oil. So this is really nice. When I got my last professional peel in December, this was extremely helpful. I applied it a few times a day. So I'm just gonna apply a few drops, and the way I count how many drops of oil I put on is I just put them on my fingertips. Rub it in, and the place where I find I peel the most or my eczema can flare up if I don't hydrate properly is around my mouth. So I just kind of put that there as a little safety to make sure I'm super hydrated. And then super, super important, probably the most important thing after a peel is to make sure you have a really great SPF routine. So this is from Supergoop. This is the Superscreen Daily Moisturizer SPF 40. So I have many different kinds of Supergoop sunscreens, many different kinds of sunscreens from different brands. I find this one's really nice because your skin's gonna be a bit dehydrated and it has the SPF 40. So you're kind of like, you know, hitting two concerns at once. I love this, so it's almost gone. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little bit of this, and I'll apply a little bit more probably off camera because you need a pretty good amount of sunscreen, I would say. And I have lots of natural light in my apartment, so it's super important. So you wanna wear your SPF. Your skin is gonna be more photosensitive. Photosensitive just means you're a bit more sensitive to the sun. And my skin is already very photosensitive, so it's super important that I wear SPF after this. So main things you want to think about after a peel is avoid any active products. If you're using retinol or, you know, any acids at night, maybe discontinue use for a few days. You want to make sure you're super hydrated, you're drinking your water, you're applying your water to your skin like your hyaluronic acid, and you want to make sure you are perfectly protected from the sun with a really great SPF. And it's really nice because, you know, the guidelines are very loose. Sometimes there's certain things your professional esthetician will have you do after a chemical peel, but the great thing about at-home peels is they're just so easy to do. Okay, so that's it. I've applied my hydration, my SPF, and I am nice and soft. So that's it. That's how I'm trying to maintain some sort of routine with my skin even though I'm at home. Maybe list some products below that you really like to use to maintain your skin when you're at home. That might be really fun to sort of share amongst ourselves. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our content, and we'll see you next time. Bye.